This is Mike Campbell, County Judge in Clay County, and I know all around the world, and certainly in our country, in Texas, and even right here in Clay County, there's a lot of concern about the COVID-19 virus. While we are a very rural county, there's only about 11,000 of us, and we're spread out over 700,000 acres. That means the risk for any of our residents coming down with the virus is certainly much less, but we're not immune. We do have a lot of traffic coming through our county as well, down 287, 82, and several major roads that go through our community. I guess the thing that I want to do right now is to assure you that county government is open for business. We're taking some precautions. Certainly, we would encourage you, if you're not feeling well, please stay at home. We've canceled our courts. The Justice of the Peace has made some adjustments to the way they do business, certainly our district clerk and our county clerk as well. Many of those things you can actually do online. So if you have some responsibilities that you need to take care of with the county, Clay County, give them a call and they can walk you through how to do that, or check out our website, which is co.clay.tx.us, and we'll try to post information and links there that would be helpful to you as well. What I'd like to do is visit with some of our folks here in Clay County. We'll visit with people who are experts in medical field, as well as dealing with our seniors. They are certainly our most vulnerable. I guess the main message I want to send to you today is that we are in constant communication with the governor. Keith Birch and I sit in on daily updates concerning the situation. I know that other counties have declared disaster right now. According to Lance Liggett, there are no confirmed cases of it in our region. Certainly there are many in the more urban areas, and certainly that's to be expected. Main thing I want you to do is just to be aware that while our schools are out, while we're kind of pausing for a little bit, this is an opportunity for us to kind of pause and reflect on what we're doing. Get some of that spring cleaning done, maybe organize some things maybe you haven't done in a while. So we can look at this as a positive, but the most important thing is that we're going to be safe, and your county government, certainly those, our hospital is well staffed. I visited with Jeff Husky the other day, and he's got everything in shape over there, so we don't have to worry about that. Certainly our ambulance service are taking the necessary precautions there, and they're available for us as well. And our senior citizen center, I visited with Roy Boswell the other day, and he said that they're cutting back on some of their services, some of the meetings that they have at the senior citizen center, and I'm sure Petrolia will do the same thing. But just if you're taking meals at the senior citizen center, they're still open, but you might consider joining their Meals on Wheels or just takeout as well. That way you can just run in and get what you need, and they'll take care of you on that. Many of our businesses here are cutting back on, for example, restaurants, but they still have takeout, and some of them will even have delivery. So just make sure that while we're cautious and careful, just be very aware of situations where you might be susceptible, because while we are certainly less likely, we're not immune to the COVID-19 virus. This is a time when we'll look back and say, wow, nothing happened, and we'll say that's a good thing. We're going to check in now with some of our local experts and hopefully get some information you could use. Well, we're visiting today with Maribel Longoria, who is the Clay County Tax Assessor-Collector here in Clay County. Your office is in the annex, and of course, everyone's concerned about the COVID-19 virus, and all counties are doing things to try and alleviate the chance of spread of the disease. And I know your office is no different. You all have a lot of walk-in traffic because people renew their licenses, not driver's licenses, but licenses, and so many things that you do. What is your office doing to try to help ease the problem?
Well, as of yesterday, Governor Abbott issued a statement granting a temporary extension to obtain registration and renewal registration and a permanent disabled parking placard. So I thought I would, due to the threat of the coronavirus, I thought I would close the office to all public and just open the drive-through just for the public to. You can absolutely do any transaction, title transfer, renewal registration, temporary registration, So as of right now, we will close the office to all public until further notice.
Well, we have the capability. We've got the facilities for that. So why not? That's just one more thing that we can do to try to protect the public, because, there's still certain things we need to do. But on the other hand, if you're elderly, if you're in a high-risk area, perhaps don't worry about it, because we feel like that their officials are going to be pretty lenient about that. But it's still something we need to get done. So you got some time now. We'll drop by the annex, and you're located on the north side.
That's correct.
Of the annex, and just drive through, just like the bank.
And you can do absolutely any transaction as you can in the office.
And if you have any questions about that, they can call you, give your office a call.
That's correct.
And what's the number down there?
940-538-4356.
All right, very good.
Need anything, just give us a call.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we're visiting today with Roy Boswell, and Roy, you're the director of the Senior Citizens Center here in Clay County and located in Henrietta, and this is kind of a new project for you. And how are you finding things so far?
Well, Mike, I just absolutely love it. I wished I had discovered this job years ago, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's really fulfilling, and I just love the people and get to fellowship with them each and every day. And I really look at this as a type of ministry, because that's what we do. We minister to these people by feeding them and checking on them and taking care of them and doing whatever we can do to help them.
And it's an opportunity for people to socialize as well. And that's kind of a problem right now with the COVID-19 that we're facing. What changes have you made there at the Clay County Senior Citizen Center to help protect the folks that are most vulnerable?
Well, what we've done is we have basically postponed all of our activities that we normally have, such as bingo and movie nights and that type of stuff, where we are open to the public, and we have quite a few people from outside that come in. And then our volunteers that deliver our Meals on Wheels, of course, we make sure that they sanitize their hands good, and then we have plastic gloves that we require them to wear to deliver the meals. Of course, the meals are sealed, of course, but we ask them not to go into the client's house unless absolutely necessary. And we remind them that they also need to disinfect their car steering wheel, as well as their car handles and their armrests and stuff inside their car, from going up and just simply, knocking on the door and with these doorknobs and stuff that they use when they go inside those, or when they open the door to hand the food to the people. So we are trying to monitor it as close as we can. We also ask them to we do a wellness check, and so we ask them to really pay attention. And if the people show any type of signs of any illness, then we want to know, because we want to contact their family doctor and try to get ahead of it. And hopefully it's nothing to do with the virus. Of course, we know the flu's out there still this time of year, and as well as seasonal colds.
So there are no plans really to shut down Meals on Wheels. That's still going strong.
That's still going strong. I don't think that these people we live the Meals on Wheels for, if they didn't have us, I'm not sure they would eat. And
right.
So people tell us time and time again how appreciative they are of the program, and that they a lot of times when we do interviews with them, they will just flat tell us that a lot of times this is the only meal they eat per day. Now, we know as seniors, we eat less usually.
Sure.
Although I'm a senior, I hadn't reached that point yet. I'm still eating pretty good.
I know the feeling. Yes, sir.
I remember my mom and dad, on up in their years, at times it didn't seem like they ate enough to stay alive, so to speak.
Right.
But these seniors are very, very appreciative that they get a good, nutritious meal, and it's hot, and they just absolutely love it. And they love the social contact aspect of it, too, because in many cases, our volunteers are the only people they see that day and that week and sometimes that month.
No doubt. So if somebody wanted to sign up for Meals on Wheels, what would they need to do?
Well, they would just need to simply contact us here at the center. I need to get some information from them to make sure they qualify. And qualifying is really pretty easy. The state asks that they be at least 60 years old and basically shut in. But the qualifying is really pretty easy, and really we would love to get the word out to people that I think there's a lot of people out there that qualify for Meals on Wheels that may be a little bit embarrassed. Maybe their pride's getting in the way, so to speak.
Sure.
And they're afraid to ask for help. But we're here to help. This is what we're here for. We are here to serve our community. We have an awesome town that we live in, Henrietta, Texas. I mean, there's so much good here in this town, and so much that happens and everything, and so we want to take care of our senior citizens, and we want to provide them these meals, and like I say, if they even have any questions, just please have them contact us, or if you know of somebody that might qualify, you can contact us and tell us about them, or you can go to our website, www.claycountyseniors.com, and you can go over to the tab that says Meals on Wheels, and there's a form that you can fill out, and then hit submit, and it'll come straight to us.
So it's, and certainly for folks that you're open, certainly you would encourage people to maybe call in and do takeout as well. And I got to tell you, I had your chicken fried steak last week, and it was outstanding. And I just called and dropped by and picked it up, and it was quick and hot and good. And I think it's like a $6 donation, and you can't hardly beat that anywhere in the country.
That's correct. Our meals here at the center are just a $6 donation. Of course, if people want to donate more, we're glad to take that too. Mm-hmm. We're having chicken fried steak again today.
Oh, today's the day. All right.
But you're right. I think it was week before last mm-hmm. that we had it, and we had a lot of people call in and pick their orders up, and we can take debit cards or credit cards also.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Makes it more convenient for them.
I didn't know that. That's good to know. Well, the main thing right now is that in the midst of this COVID-19 concern that we have right now, that you're still doing Meals on Wheels, so important for our those that are shut-ins and that sort of thing, and you're taking precautions. You've canceled the meetings, the things that normally you have at your great facility, because you all have some really good meeting rooms over there as well. And but those are pretty well canceled for right now. We're just kind of watching and monitoring, and as soon as it's all clear, it'll be back to business as usual.
That's correct. And we pray every night, and we ask y'all to join us in prayer that this all passes soon, and we'll be back to operating full steam ahead, and we'll reinstate all of our activities, and we want people to come back down here and fellowship and see us.
There you go. All right, Roy. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
All right. Visiting today with Dr. Greer, a longtime doctor here in Clay County, certainly on the board of directors for the Clay County Memorial Hospital, and retired, but best I can tell, you're not really retired. You are our county and even city health officer here for Clay County.
Yes, that's correct. I have been for some time, and continue to perform in those capacities.
And we certainly appreciate that. I guess the big question on everybody's mind is, while we are a rural county, we're still not immune to the COVID-19. How worried should we be in Clay County?
I think that it would be prudent for us to expect that eventually the virus will come to Clay County. If you have watched the news, they talk about flattening the curve. I'm not sure everybody understands what that means, but that is decreasing the number of people who are exposed in order to lessen the number of cases of the COVID-19 at any one particular time. And what this is expected to do is lengthen the time that it takes for the virus to still hang around, so understandably, that if a large number of people were to get sick at one time, then this would sort of be done with it, so to speak. You'd have a short epidemic and then a few people later on. But this would totally overwhelm the ability of the medical facilities, the intensive care units to care for everyone. And we feel like that it can be handled by spreading out the time frame that the virus is out there to expose us. Another advantage to doing this is eventually we think that there will be an immunization available and possibly a treatment available to be able to address the COVID virus. I frankly don't think that it's going to be, either one of these are going to be available in time to affect what we're dealing with right now.
So I guess the question for most folks have, number one, is what are the symptoms? How, I've got a hacking cough and maybe a little fever. What symptoms should I be looking for to identify this?
The symptoms are they're on generic rather than non-specific. They're flu-like symptoms: fever, muscle aches and pains, lethargy, just don't feel good, maybe feel as if you've been run over by a truck, and cough, because it is a respiratory type infection. So if you look at those symptoms, that doesn't differentiate it from any of the respiratory illnesses or flu-like syndromes that we have that face us every year. So it's one more kind of flu, so to speak.
And it's much like others that we've dealt with. The difference is we don't have a natural immunity to it, and we don't really have a vaccination for it at this time. Perhaps in a year or two we will. It'll just be added to the list of coronaviruses that we have to deal with already. Would that be true?
That's correct. And if people are asking, thinking, well, what can I do? This may sound a little bit unusual, but one of the things that they can do is get the regular flu shot. And that will decrease the number of regular flu cases that we have. Understandably, the regular flu shot that's available may be only 80% effective. But you have what's called a herd immunity. So if enough people get immunized and it's effective, this will decrease the overall instance of the regular flu and will help to protect them.
Now, Dr. Greer,
we do have a treatment for the regular flu. And the reason I emphasize that is that is something that we can do, and the people are not totally immune from having both viruses at the same time. It's unusual, it would be unexpected, but it is not impossible.
Dr. Greer, I know that you raise cattle, and you used a term I've never heard before, herd immunity. Is that right?
Yes, that's we've taken that from the cattle folks or the agricultural community, and which basically it means that if say you have 10 people who are immunized who get the flu shot, so to speak, and it's only effective in 8, well, you still those 8, the 2 who are not immunized have less chance of being exposed to the flu than is as if everyone were not immunized.
That makes sense.
The cattlemen understand this real well. That's
Absolutely.
why they vaccinate their cattle from for IBR and all these other communicable diseases that occur. Helps to do it, and it's effective.
That makes sense, and certainly here in Clay County, we can relate to that. So then, I've got the symptoms, or at least I think I've got the symptoms. What should I do now?
Go home.
Go home. Do not go to work.
Go out where you'll spread it.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to call your physician, you can do that. If you prefer to call a hospital, we can give you advice. I'll tell you what they're doing now is if people feel like they have the coronavirus symptoms, we're asking, they'll come to the hospital, they'll do a nasal swab, and as a matter of fact, the lab technician will come out to their car and do it, and then they can go home. Just yesterday, we got a new lab that is doing these, and the turnaround time that we have been quoted so far has been 4 days. Hopefully, we will be able to cut this in half, maybe to 2 days, but I can't promise that at this time. And if they do have the virus, the treatment is the same, that it's symptomatic. Tylenol or ibuprofen, lots of fluids and rest. Washing your hands multiple times a day, stay 6 feet or more away from anyone else who does not have the flu. And if the respiratory symptoms worsen, these are the difficulty breathing, that sort of thing, then medical intervention needs to take place. They need to call us at the emergency room, or they call their physician and explain, this is what I have, I'm having trouble breathing. And very small percentage of these people will need to be admitted to the hospital, and even a smaller percent will need to be on the ventilator or respirator, which we're not capable of doing this other than as an emergency type treatment in order to sustain the people until they can go to a facility that has a regular intensive care unit where they can be placed on a ventilator. I want to emphasize this is a very small percent of the people. However, the incidence increases as people increase in age. So if you start at age 60 and you go up to 90, it's a curve which continues to increase.
Sure. We're recording this on Tuesday, March the 17th here in 2020. It's about coming up 11 o'clock in the morning. Are you aware of any cases in Clay County at this point?
I am not. We're trying to keep on top of this. I do not know of any. We have done some testing, but we don't have any tests back. But I am not aware of any cases of the coronavirus infection in Clay County at this time.
We've got several events that are coming up that people are concerned about. I know the fire department has their annual fundraiser here on I believe the 29th. We've got Turkey Fest that are coming up. What advice do you have for the planners, the people that are putting that together?
I think that they need to make contingency plans. I noticed where the Kentucky Derby has been postponed to September. Texas and Southwestern Cattle Racers Association, which was scheduled to start, I think it's next week or the week after, has moved to the fall. I've been some other organizations which have taken the same action. So my suggestion is if they consider rescheduling these events where you have a large number of people that are in close contact with each other to another time. Now, I understand with Turkey Fest, it's the spring turkey season, and it's entirely conceivable that they may have to say, well, we'll either wait till fall turkey season or we'll wait till 2021 to do the same thing.
I think the concern is the banquet and that sort of thing.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
On the fireman's event, is this the one where they drive up to and get your
Yes, sir.
barbecue?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, that sort of thing, or
Yes,
is there
sir.
something else involved?
No, that's it. That's it.
Well, I would think that the people can do that, to continue to do their takeouts. Drive up, get it, and drive off. But where they sit down at a long table and across the table from
Sure.
each other, and you have people who are coughing or maybe in the early stages of the condition of the disease and don't know it, I think it would be advisable to eliminate that portion.
Yes, sir.
So what we're trying to do is cut down on that. Now, the people who are bringing the food to to those in the car, I would recommend that they wear a mask, just as a precautionary measure, mask and gloves, continue to do the frequent hand washing, etc. And that would provide some protection for both the recipient and the person who is giving the food to them.
Good advice. That's a great idea. Jason Obermeyer, who is our fire chief here, came by earlier, and we had that very same discussion. So that's very much in line with what he's thinking and what we recommend. So we'll pass that along to him as well.
Okay, good. I'm trying to think of some other events that are going on. I noticed that some churches have canceled their events for their regular church gatherings. This is just it's a tough time. We need to take tough action, and I think none of us would want to create a situation where we might increase the possibility of the spread of the disease.
Certainly, and churches some churches have the capability of streaming their service.
Yes.
Certainly, our senior adults, it would be wise for them certainly to do that. I don't know that we can tell our churches not to meet particularly, but and shouldn't. But I think they're pretty smart. They're very wise in if they make that decision to do that. So
I think that's right. And once everybody kind of gets on board with this, it's not so difficult to do. It's not fun. It's not the sort of thing that we recommend without considerable forethought, but it's something that we feel like we're doing to protect the people who are uninfected.
Absolutely. What about our Senior Citizen Center? We have Petrolia and Henrietta both have great senior citizen centers. What should they be doing?
I just got off the phone with Petrolia, and I talked to Roy Boswell at Henrietta before. Excuse me. I think that they are increasing the takeouts where they have the Meals on Wheels.
Right.
Petrolia is keeping their people at 6 or more feet away when they have their meals, and they're asking them to leave as soon as they finish eating.
Right.
I've discussed the possibility of just including everybody on the Meals on Wheels so that they won't have to come and be exposed or to expose those people who are workers at the senior citizens. I think Roy Boswell maybe is doing something similar. It's sort of like, it's Mohammed in the Mountain illustration, so we can take those meals out to the people rather than have them come in and be exposed.
Absolutely.
But it's still sort of a decision that is the director of the Petrolia and the director of the Henrietta Senior Citizens. It's in their lap to make that decision.
I talked to Roy the other day about that, and I suggested they put in a drive-through.
Yes.
I don't know if he's going to be able to do that or not, but
it could be a takeout. We don't have to have a window there, but they can drive up and they can bring the food out, just like we're talking about with the firemen. With the have the food available for them, have it all in a throwaway, paper plates and that sort of thing. And I think that would be a very reasonable choice.
And probably good idea for all of our restaurants here in town. If they choose to remain open, I bet they'll do carry out and that sort of thing. So you might call before you go and just set it up because, they're still in business and they still need to make a living. So we sure want to support them as well during this time. Just use good judgment.
That's exactly right, And when you do that, you limit the amount of close contact with others, and just decreases the likelihood of the spread of the virus.
What about our hospital? What kind of? We're so fortunate here to have Clay County Memorial Hospital, which is a portion of Clay County. It's part of the county government as well. What kind of situation are they in over there? I did visit with Jeff Husky the other day, and they were making arrangements last week for, and really and truly, the hospitals are doing this anyway. They're not really doing anything new and extra because they're always
You're
careful.
exactly right. Because I don't know what Jeff said, but what we're doing is using the what they call it, the universal precautions, where we wear masks and gowns and gloves and wash our hands multiple times a day, frequently, and before and after patient contact, and keeping our distance. The same thing we'd do normally if they had another communicable disease.
Sure.
So it's just right now it's one more communicable disease that we have to deal with, and we're already set up to handle that in that manner. We've been doing it for some time. When the patients come in, they have any kind of a respiratory type symptom, anywhere from a cold, a sinus, or lower respiratory. We put a mask on them while they're still out in their waiting room when they're signed in, before they ever come in contact with any of the hospital personnel.
Well, once again, we're so thankful for not only our EMTs, the folks that run the ambulances, folks in the emergency room, our folks over at the drugstore, in our pharmacy. They're on the front line of all this, and so we depend on them and appreciate the work that all of y'all do on our behalf.
Well, thank you. I'll pass that on to the rest of the people. You know what? The nurses and the nursing staff and personnel are the ones that handle they carry the load.
Yes.
The doctors come in, we see, we make recommendations, treat the patients, but they're 24/7, day in and day out, and they're the ones that have the highest time exposure to the
Sure.
people who have communicable diseases. So they get the kudos.
No doubt. Well, thank you, Dr. Greer. I appreciate your time.
Call me back anytime.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.